Probably not today, but it will be there by next week. I'm going to share my screen. Tracy is here. Please feel free to drop any questions in the chat. We will answer them at the end. Right, Tracy, does everything look all right?
Yes.
All right. Well, this is our first Evaluation Configurator office hour for the year. Welcome. As always, we ground everything in our best for all strategy. I want to introduce you to our team. We realize that we may have some new people, may not know who everyone is. Martha Moore is our Senior Director of Educator Effectiveness. She oversees all the work that you see listed here, plus some other avenues that she's in charge of. I'm Amy Floyd. I'm the Director of Data and District Support. I work with TNCompass data, strategic compensation, which is differentiated pay plans, vacancy data, and educator diversity goals, which are in Inform TN. Tracy Riddle is here with us today. She's the Director of Educator Effectiveness, and she handles all of the alternative growth measures. So the portfolio and the alternative growth measure from the Universal Reading Screener. And she is all things team evaluation. So if you have any questions about the evaluation process and rubrics, Tracy is your go-to person. Micah Fager, who was with us on our calls last year, I don't believe she's here today, but she is the Director of Team Training and Support, and she oversees observer training, and she manages our team website. Sarah Brown is the Recognition and Communication Coordinator. She handles 8 educator recognition programs, 4 advisory councils, and she manages all of our external communications. And we have a team contractor position that is going to become available soon, and that person will support all of us in various roles when that is filled. Our agenda for today is to talk about evaluation configurator roles and responsibilities, resources, staffing, configuring permission, team observer, training information, and then we'll talk about some next steps. If you are a new evaluation configurator, we do these office hours monthly. They're a resource for you. Also, all the people on this call are great resources for you. So the roles and responsibilities of the evaluation configurator, it's a district level role, and your responsibilities include, ensuring accurate staffing, confirming data quality and security, communicating and supporting adherence to the team timelines, supporting with measure selections, overseeing the implementation and completion of the evaluation process, managing the permissions in TNCompass, training and support for users, TNCompass users in your district, and assuring that all state board education policies regarding evaluations the requirements are met. So we're going to start out with staffing. We are ready to begin staffing for the 24-25 school year. As you know, TNCompass, has rolled over for the 24-25 school year. I will say for any of you that have new schools, those new schools are now in TNCompass. Things to think about for you when you start thinking about updating staffing. First, who's going to review this staffing at the district level? And then who's going to update it? And do they need training? And to think about the same things, who's going to review all of the school's staffing? I'm from a small district. I could have done this myself, but some of you have multiple schools, so you're probably going to delegate some of this. So who's going to review your school staffing? Who's going to update school staffing? And do they know how to do it? Do they need training? There is a TNCompass report, the TNCompass Staff Assignments Report, that may be helpful for you. That will show you can download it by the district or for each individual school in your district. It shows you who is currently, you're going to download it for 24-25. Sorry, I pulled this before. You want the staffing for 24-25. It will show you who is staffed currently, and you can use that to determine who do I need to remove and who do I need to add. You can also do it straight from TNCompass on the staffing page, whatever works best for you. Staff roles, you have to determine roles when you start staffing people. These are the roles that you can have at the district level and at the school level. So at district level, you can have a non-instructional, an observer, a district staff, instructional supervisor, superintendent designee, evaluation administrator, and a licensure administrator. You can have a district can have multiple superintendent designees, can have multiple evaluation administrators. So you need to decide and determine what those people need to do when you're staffing those roles. At the school level, there are only 4 staff roles: teacher, non-instructional, principal, assistant principal, and observer. Remember, if you staff someone in the observer role, they have access to teachers' data. That is protected data, so make sure if you're staffing someone in the observer role that they should have access to that information. The importance of staffing is for data security and data access, and to configure the correct permissions so that people can do the things that they need to do with their job. To do your staffing, you go to the Administration tab in TNCompass, click on Staff Assignments. This is to remove staffing. You're going to want to remove people who are no longer with you for the 24-25 school year. Make sure under the staff filters you're in 24-25. This is a district level. Obviously, you can see that by the roles. If there's someone there that needs to be removed, it's pretty simple. You just click the little red garbage can. That will remove them. Should you remove somebody who does not need to be removed, under the staff filters, there is a toggle button under staff status. You see active is blue now on the left-hand side. If you click that removed, it will show you anybody that has been removed for this school year. If they shouldn't have been removed, there's a green button that you click to staff them, and it'll pull them right back up. Before you remove, it's going to give you a confirmation. You are about to remove this person from your staff assignments. Are you sure? Confirm remove. And you click that button and you move on. They will be gone. The next step will be to add new staff. There's some common staffing roles we're going to talk about and how you actually add them and put the permissions into TNCompass. So these are our basic roles that we talked about that you can staff people in. So the non-instructional role can be staffed at the district or the school level. It is appropriate for staff who are non-licensed or are waiting on a license. Please do not staff somebody as an observer who is waiting on a license. The basic permissions, these are the things that they can see. They can see the announcements. They can see their personal dashboard items. They can edit their personal information. They can edit their account, email, and password. And they can view links. And they can view their own personal information as a non-instructional. They can submit a license transaction and all that kind of stuff, but they cannot see anyone else's information. Teacher role is only a school level role. They have basic permissions here. That's the center column. They can see their information, their license, their evaluation information. And then they can be configured to observe peers. They have to have that required certification. Once they get that, then they can see their peers' evaluation profile. If they're observing peers, they may add evaluation attachments and notes. This is appropriate for licensed teachers and instructional coaches. An observer role is appropriate for people who will strictly be observing others and are not in an administrative role. They have the basic permissions of a teacher. They are able to see license and endorsements at the school or all of the district, depending on where you have them staffed. If you set it, they cannot view evaluations for APs or principals. You can set that. Again, they can observe teachers, they can observe leaders if they are certified, and they can add attachments. This is the role that be very careful with. Make sure that the person really does just need to be an observer, and it should not be some type of an administrator. Instructional supervisors, this is for your instructional support staff. You've got their basic permissions and then all the configurable permissions that they have. Adding staff, again, make sure you're in the 24-25 school year. If you're adding at the LEA level, you stay there. If you need to select a school to add a school staff, it works the same way. So from this page, if you want to add, you click the Adds LEA Staff button up here at the top. I'm sorry, my arrow's in the wrong place. Make sure you're in the 24-25 school year. It will bring up a page where you can search. Please, when at all possible, search by the license number. There are people that have the same first and last name in TNCompass. There are a lot of those people. I get emails all the time about somebody saying, hey, I'm staffed in this school and I never worked there. And it's because of a duplicate name. So make sure you have the license number. I put my license number in so you only see me. But if I had put in John Brown, I would probably have 10 to 15 people that would pop up. And the only way to confirm that is with license number, birthday, last 4 of your social security number. Just be very careful that you're getting the right person. Once you know you have the right person, you click the little dot beside their name and click next. Then you determine the role that they need to have. Staffing myself as an instructional supervisor. Click next and save staff. Then in that district, you can see immediately that's that person's staff. If you need to configure any permissions, you click configure. So when we talk about configuring permissions, superintendent designee, a licensure administrator, and an evaluation administrator can add the permissions. This allows you to add all these extra permissions. You can do that through the configure button here on the side. When you click that, it will open up. If you see the red with the line through it, it means those are not enabled for this person. If you want to enable this person to configure, if you want to enable this person to observe teachers, you would click that red button and it will become a green check mark. So depending on their current staffing, the permissions that you can add may change. LEA contacts. We ask when you fill out the evaluation flexibility survey to do LEA contacts. It is extremely important that we have these contacts. Our team obviously uses them for the work that we oversee, but other department offices use those contacts throughout the year to contact your district personnel as needed. We really need those updated. Please check that you have LEA contacts in TNCompass. Even if you're not the person who should be putting them in, please check. And if they're not there, please get those updated. You can update them throughout the year. If someone leaves or if somebody changes a role, you're going to go to the administration tab in TNCompass. You're going to click on LEA settings tab. This is different from last year. Last year, there was an LEA contacts tab. This year, you click on the LEA settings tile. When it opens up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a contacts button. You click that button. You're still going to see this changes may not be made to this year's settings. That is talking about the evaluation flexibility options that you've already chosen. You click that contacts button. It looks like this. If it's blank, they have not been submitted. They're not there. If you have somebody that needs to be changed, then if you click the little eraser, it erases all of the information for that person, and you can put somebody new in. The ones that are starred, we are required for everybody. Portfolio lead and alternative growth measure, URS. If you're implementing both of those in your districts, we need leads for both of those. If you're only doing one, we don't have to have a lead for both of them. The last three are for districts only. Charters are not required to have the human resources, diff pay, or educator diversity goal contacts. Team observer information, as you know, in order to observe teachers and administrators, you have to have the evaluation certification. Evaluations that are conducted by non-certified evaluators are inadmissible and are grounds for a grievance. So make sure your people have the certifications. The windows run from June 3rd, 2024 to for recertification runs through August 31st of 2024. So you've got about another month to get your recertification done. If you don't get the recertification done, you have to do the initial certification again, and it runs through March 31st of 2025. So if you're already certified, even if you think you might not be going to evaluate, you need to go on and do this. As you know, in a district, things change quickly. Certification is valid through June 30th of the current year, regardless of the certification date. So if you certify on March the 31st, it's going to expire June 30th of 2025. You can to enroll in team certification, you could go to the team website and click enroll, and it gives you instructions of how you get that done. There's also training materials and some presentations there. I have lots of resources to share with you. Obviously, our team website is one. There are lots of tabs on the top. We have information for statute and policy if you're looking for that. The evaluation tab tells you everything you need to know about evaluations. We have a tab specifically for charter schools, achievement and growth measures, portfolios. Our office hours are also have their own tabs. So when you start looking for recordings for these, you can find them. The team evaluation timeline for 24-25 is under upcoming deadlines on the homepage. This is what it looks like. It's the same format it has been for several years. There are resources linked in the team evaluation timeline under the resources column. If there are resources for whatever the action is, that information is there. The last column for designation tells the year we're talking about, because as you know, we work in 2 years for a period of time here. So the team training, evaluator training is for the current year, for the 24-25 school year. Email support. There are a lot of emails that are out there that you can get support through. So we want to talk a little bit about those and explain what kind of support so that you get to the correct place the quickest. So for team questions, any questions with TNCompass, any questions regarding observations, growth measures, which include TVAS or the Alternative Growth Measure Universal Reading Screener, achievement measures, and evaluation training, those questions should go to team questions. If you have questions about portfolios, those should go to portfolio.questions@tn.gov. If you have questions during roster verification, those should go to rvquestions@tn.gov. Compensation questions, those are for differentiated pay plans and vacancy data. They go to compensation.questions. Educator licensure@tn.gov answers all the licensure questions, PDP points, experience questions. TASL information obviously answers questions about TASL academies and credits. If you have questions about the Tennessee Universal Reading Screener, about test administration or reporting, please reach out to them. And with other assessment questions, they go to tenedit.assessment. We get a lot of questions in team questions for licensure, which is fine. We forward those. If we get questions in team questions that we are not able to answer, we try to route those to the appropriate people, but that delays your answer. So if you have questions around licensure, if you email licensure directly, your questions will get answered much quicker. Our monthly office hours are here. These are the ones that are scheduled for the rest of the year. They are subject to change depending on when things are released and things like that. So this is our what I have planned for the year, but they are subject to change. Your next steps are to update your district staffing, ensure building level staffing is updated, share the implementation process with evaluators, providing additional training as needed, and communicate the expectation that all staff review and update their emails in TNCompass. Their email needs to be something that they will always have access to. It can be their school email, but if they leave your district and that email is shut down, they lose their access. So they need to make sure that they have a valid email address in there. TNCompass occasionally communicates and pushes out notifications, and it would go to that address if they do. So check yours also. And that's all I have for today.
If you have questions, will you put those in the chat? Amy, we have one question so far.
Okay.
And it says, when will the school year 24-25 be added?
It is added now. You should be able to go into TNCompass and see that now.
Let's see what Ms. Hall is looking at. She's looking at the data import wizard.
I will check on that. I have not looked at the data import wizard. Okay.
So it looks like the data import wizard is not letting them do a import, but we will look into that.
I will contact TNCompass as soon as we finish.
And can they begin adding teachers to the schools now?
Sure. Your staff from last year automatically rolled over, so just be sure to remove anybody that's no longer there and start adding your new people. You are also welcome to come off of mute and ask a question if you have one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Tanya from Metro Schools. How are y'all today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I have a few APs, assistant principals from last school year that are now executive principals this school year. And my question is for pinning the evaluation from 23-24. Will they have access to that, or do I need to change their role? I don't want to change their role because they need an LOE under the original role from last year. How do I do that?
Okay, so if you change their staffing for 24-25, it's not going to change their staffing for 23-24.
Correct. But will they be able to pin their staff evaluation from last year?
When LOEs come out?
As an AP, yes, because they were rostered last year as AP. They're going to be an EP, an executive principal this year.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay.
They should be able to.
Okay.
If we run into problems, let me know. We'll get that worked out, but they should be able to.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. Are there any more questions?